Hi, I'm Dan. This is Vinyl Fury, back to show a few more records that I've added to the collection so far this year. And it's been a lot lately. 2 days ago is when I filmed the last video that I put up where I showed this armful of records that I brought home unplanned. I kid you not, yesterday, the day after, I went out for another walk. I went into a store, no plan, left with 10 more records, I believe. So it appears I'm fully reinfected with this, whatever you want to call it, that we have that makes us do this. But yeah, I really need to rein it in. But I've got some great stuff lately. So I was going to divide it up into the different stores I went to, but I haven't listened to everything from each stop, so it's going to be a mixed bag. But I will start with a store that I hadn't been to before. It's called Tomorrow Records. And at first I was just digging through the lower $2 bins, found a couple things in there, and then started looking around. And I saw some things that I either hadn't seen in a long time or never have. And I've never seen this. This is a band called Drowning Man. The album is called Rock and Roll Killing Machine. And this is from, what, 2000? Yeah, year 2000 on Revelation Records. This is, I guess you would call it, I don't know, is it post-hardcore or is it hardcore? Back then I probably would have called it hardcore. This is when I was just getting into heavier music like that with more of an edge, coming from, nu metal and stuff like that. Drowning Man, Poison the Well, Glassjaw, these kinds of heavier hardcore rock. And Drowning Man, I really enjoyed. And I have a couple other of their releases on vinyl. Never seen this, never even thought to look for it, I don't think. I just assumed it wouldn't have been out there. And this was a bit expensive, but given what it means to me from that time, and again, I'd never seen it before, and I looked it up, and it would be easy to sell it for more than I paid for it if it wasn't a great copy or whatever. But it was actually pretty great. I really enjoyed listening to it. I hadn't heard this album in a long time. So yeah, Drowning Man. If you like that heavy, screamy, check it out. Now, on a complete, pretty damn opposite end of the spectrum, you got Johnny Hates Jazz. What is this, 1988? And I don't know if I saw it at the time or afterwards. I think it was afterwards. It's a Columbia House pressing, and it was $10, I think. And I've bought this on tape in the past. I really like it. And I think I've looked for it online, and, it was just, it's a little too much to really go out of my way to get it on vinyl. And I don't know if I've ever seen it. But $10, I was like, yeah, and the vinyl looked great. It was a really good condition. So I played it. It sounds pretty darn good. And some of these songs, Shattered Dreams is an absolute 80s banger. Turn Back the Clock is just a beautiful pop song. But this is just a very well-crafted pop album from the 80s. I think it's underrated, in my opinion. And I'm not really familiar with anything that they've done after this. I think there's an album or two after this, and I think they're actually active again right now, which is pretty cool. But I was glad to get that. Now this I just got for the cover, and I'll let you look at that. I think that's awesome. It's one of those conceptual painted covers, lots going on. You kind of look at it like, okay, what does that mean? Where is that coming from? Pretty cool. And this is from 1982. And I think the first song, She Looks a Lot Like You, was a bit of a hit for them. I don't really know what else they did. It might not have been much else. And this is pretty all right pop rock. I'll keep it for sure. Some interesting vocal stuff that I liked. And it is a gold stamp promo on the back. There's several albums that I've purchased over the years that were just for the cover like that. A lot of them I don't have anymore, and actually some of them I think back and I kind of wish I did. So I'm hanging on to this. So at 2 different stores, I believe it was the same day, I found a Dan Siegel record that I was searching for called Night Ride. The first one was this one. It's a normal first press on Inner City. You got John Clemmer on there, who I've talked about a lot over the years. Saxophonist appears on one track. I thought that was pretty cool. This is from 1980. If it's not his first record, it's his second. And then this one I found, I looked, and it was a promo copy. At least when I saw it, it was a promo copy for something. And I wasn't sure what all it says is Advanced Promotional 1980 Columbia Records, Pittman, New Jersey. And I looked at Discogs, and it seemed like it was the right record, but I didn't know until I put down the needle, and sure enough it was. And it sounded pretty cool, and I think it was $2. Now I have 2 copies, and I usually don't do that anymore, but it's a pretty enjoyable record too. Been talking about Dan Siegel lately. Jazz fusion. He plays keys, Rhodes, vibraphones, organs, pianos, all that. And he's just a great arranger, producer. So another one from the band Synergy, electronic stuff. It's on Passport Records in 1976. It's a gatefold. And this is, to be honest, a little bit odd at times. Synths, sequencers, a lot of what you can see in here. Mini Moog, Micro Moog. I got some Eventide stuff. It kind of just sounds like organized chaos at times, but it was fairly interesting. But it's some pretty cool stuff. That's how I see it anyway. And lastly, there was a couple copies of this, and it looked familiar, had a similar vibe to something I had before, which is, so this is Satin Affair, the George Shearing Quintet on Capitol, and it's from a series based on fabrics and black satin. I don't know if you can see that down there, and I'll also put the image there. I had it on the cover of this album cover book that I got years ago, and then one day I actually found the record in pretty good condition. So I thought for $2 I'll take a chance on this too, and it, it's that easy listening orchestral stuff that is really not bad. Okay, so that's it for this one. I do have another short stack here, so I will be back pretty soon to show a few more. So thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy your music.